What up, y'all? LocsNLoad firearm reviews here today. Alright, I'm here to talk about communications, more specifically antennas, and the two types of antennas I use or have used. Alright, so I'm talking about, I got the whip antenna, which is this type. You know, you've seen it pretty much all over social media, or if you look at the military, they use these antennas a lot. And the new style of antenna that I guess if you know a little bit, this is the type you would start gravitating towards. And I'm talking about the cattail antenna, right? As you can see how it's weaved on my plate carrier, right? So I'm talking about these two types of antennas. You know, why I use this one and now why I'm using that one. So all right. So years ago, like 2, 3, 4 years ago, whatnot, at least to me, I didn't know about the cattails antenna or when they really came out. So everyone was basically using these whip antennas. All right. So everyone was using these whip antennas. You can get them from any assortment of place, especially Amazon. And so what it does is basically extend the distance you can communicate. I don't have the technical term for it, but basically, you know, the longer the antenna, the longer you can communicate. You know, in theory. No, there's not too much, you know, cloud cover, tree cover things blocking your signal. But essentially, the longer the antenna, the longer your range of communication. And so the problem with that was that this whip antenna would be so far up, you know, so long if you have like one of those super long ones. And it gets in the way, gives away your position. It's not very tactical or very ergonomic, you know, right? You got this big thing just clack, 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 just sticking up there. It kind of gives you your position away, and it's not the ideal setup, right? So a lot of people kind of do what I do with this. You know, they'll kind of bend it and fold it on it, so that way you can shorten up your package. And I guess if you need to extend your range of communication, you can peel away this tape, extend it out, and then retape it back up, right? Or when you're done with it being extended, you fold it back up, use that tape it back up. So I've used this antenna specifically. That's why it's got the Kente on there. You know, I was using it for you know, empowerment stuff. And so, no, it's fine for what we were doing there. You know, I had my antenna up front, right here, sometimes in some formations, and other ones I would have it in the back because, you know, having it up front was cool, but it would kind of get in the way. Then I moved it to the back, but when I had like a hydration carrier backpack, the thing would kind of bend and click every time I walk, so that I'd be walking with click, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, and it kind of got annoying. So I moved it back up to the front because it had the least amount of interference with my kit and my rifle and what I was doing when it was up here with this shorter antenna taped up and being short like that. All right, so it worked fine. Don't get me wrong, these antennas work fine. It just, there are better options now. And so one of those better options is the cattail antenna. So you can see right here in my radio, it is, instead of, let's say back in the day, like you would have this, either this setup in the front and a wire going to it, you know, for your push button, and now you got this antenna in front of your body, kind of getting in the way of your, you know, just your hand movement because it's sitting right here. So I mean, it's, you know, you turn your head, you kind of smack into it, hit your helmet. It's kind of in the way of sorts. And so the other option too was if you put it on your back, was that you have to take this antenna, mount it on your plate carrier with the zip ties or however you want to do it, and then have another cord from the bottom of the antenna leading routed through your kit into the top of the radio, and then you have your push to talk pushed into this side too. So instead of having all those wires, right? So what cattail did is basically made that communication wire and the antenna into one package. So as you can see here, it comes with this, I call it a quick detach, because you push down, turn, and it'll come out far away. trying to do this on camera, right? So you push down, it comes off just like that. So got this little quick detach piece right here. So I'll put a picture of what comes in the package when you buy it, because I got the 5x5, I believe. So you get this adapter piece, right? This is basically, like I said, a quick detach. And so this mounts into the top of your Baofeng in this case. All right, and then you see you have this little pin here. All right, so you got this little pin on the side. This will go into these little holes on this radio. So you push down into the slot, turn to the side, and now it's locked in there. It's not coming out. And you're going to take it out, push down, rock it to the side, and it comes out. All right, and then make sure your terminal is in here, because this will move too. So make sure everything is straight when you put it in your case. All right, I'm gonna push the talk back in there. So just like that, you got the quick detach. Mount into this one is the standard one. They have a 90-degree one where this comes off at the angle, but from what I heard, a lot of people have broken those. So this is the straight, up and down is the one most popular options to go with, which a lot of people have gone with. And so the cord itself is very durable. It's meant to be outside, in the weather and everything. And so what I did was, to keep it out of the way, was weave it through my cummerbund, as you can see, on my plate carrier, going up the back, and then up to the top right here. And see, my antenna is like this because when I have like my hydration pack filled with water, or a backpack on here, or a rucksack, my antenna still has clearance, because there's a gap between like the back of my head and like the backpack, right? And so the antenna has clearance to send a signal up into the atmosphere and God knows wherever else. All right, and so that's one thing you don't want to do with this antenna, is have it somewhere where it's being covered up and it's not being free and exposed to send out a clear signal. Because like I said, if you have a backpack, because a hydration carrier, filled with water, or a backpack filled with items and shit, and it's covering up your antenna, is gonna mess up your signal and your clarity and how well you can hear what's being received. So these are the two antennas I use. The cattail antenna is now my updated, pretty much the antenna like I'm rocking with right now. I don't use this whip antenna that much. This is my backup radio, so that's why the whip antenna is on there, because it's more of a mobile platform, right? Like this versus the cord that has to be kind of mounted to something. You can still do it on the radio. You probably have to wrap it around the radio, but there are ways you can do it. It's just kind of just a grab and go option. Versus this is something I can set up in a position that I know I'm not going to be moving it around in, and just keep it that way. So if you're going to do some type of stagnant communication where like once you set up your communication, you're not going to be moving cords around too much, or too like how this is set, like I'm not taking this apart. The cattail antenna works great for that. These whip antennas is good if you just need like a quick mobile option, just to have a radio in your car type shit. Those work fine for that, but the cattail antenna will also work too. You just kind of have to find a different way to maintain all these cords on the radio. So those are my two options. If you're looking for a mobile, just like simple and efficient, just mobile option, then one of these whip antennas from Amazon and a Baofeng will work fine. It'll get you into the game. I'll put it like that. It'll get you into the communications game. But definitely, if you're looking for a plate carrier, chest rig, like some kind of kit mounted antenna, definitely a cattail antenna is my go-to option. It's more versatile than these whip antennas. You can, like you see, I weaved it through the whole carrier and still have it exposed. I can't do that with a whip antenna, right? But at the same time, if I just want a radio in the car, like if I'm doing like armed security, foot patrol type shit, you probably want something like this versus this, where you get the radio and you have to weave the cord through your kit every time, and then take it out, and then pass it on to the next guy type thing. So these are options for you guys. If you're looking for again, more stagnant type of communication setup where you set it up, don't want to touch it, change it. Cattails antenna, the communication is honestly, I think, better than the whip antenna, but it's like, I would say like this is like on a 1 to 10, this is like 8. The whip antenna is like a 7, right? So they both work fine. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you're looking for the products for the cattail antenna or the whip antenna or the Baofeng UV5R, I will put the link down in my Patreon page. So in the description box, there'll be a link to Patreon, and you guys can go check out those 3 items. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something. Check out these 2 products if you're in the market for some type of communication antenna. So top of that, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Stay educated, stay dangerous. LocsNLoad out.